and bewilderment of mind shall come over those who dwell on the earth, and they shall plan to make war against one another, city against city, place against place, people against people, and kingdom against kingdom. And when these things come to pass, and the signs occur which I showed you before, then my Son will be revealed, whom you saw as a man coming up from the sea. And when all the nations hear his voice, every man shall leave his own land and the warfare that they have had against one another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as you saw, desiring to come and conquer him. But he will stand on top of Mount Zion, and Zion will come and be made manifest to all people, prepared and built, as you saw the mountain carved out without hands. And he, my Son, will reprove the assembled nations for their ungodliness. This was symbolized by the storm, and will reproach them to their face with their evil thoughts and with the torments with which they are to be tortured, which were symbolized by the flames. And he will destroy them without effort by the law, which was symbolized by the fire. And as for your seeing him gather to himself another multitude that was peaceable, these are the 10 tribes which were led away from their own land into captivity in the days of King Hoshea, whom Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led captive. He took them across the river, and they were taken into another land. But they formed this plan for themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the nations and go to a more distant region, where mankind had never lived, that there at least they might keep their statutes which they had not kept in their own land. And they went in by the narrow passages of the Euphrates River, for at that time the Most High performed the signs for them, and stopped the channels of the river until they had passed over. Through that region there was a long way to go, a journey of 1.5 years, and that country is called Arzareth. Then they dwelt there until the last times. And now, when they are about to come again, the Most High will stop the channels of the river again, so that they may be able to pass over. Therefore you saw the multitude gathered together in peace. But those who are left of your people, who are found within my holy borders, shall be saved. Therefore, when he destroys the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he will defend the people who remain, and then he will show them very many wonders. I said, O sovereign Lord, explain this to me. Why did I see the man coming up from the heart of the sea? He said to me, just as no one can explore or know what is in the depths of the sea, so no one on earth can see my Son or those whom are with him, except in the time of his day. This is the interpretation of the dream which you saw, and you alone have been enlightened about this, because you have forsaken your own ways and have applied yourself to mine, and have searched out my law. For you have devoted your life to wisdom, and call understanding your mother. Therefore I have shown you this, for there is a reward laid up with the Most High. And after 3 more days I will tell you other things, and explain weighty and wondrous matters to you. Then I arose and walked in the field, giving great glory and praise to the Most High because of his wonders, which he did from time to time, and because he governs the times and whatever things come to pass in their seasons. And I stayed there 3 days. The 7th vision. The Lord commissions Esra. On the 3rd day, while I was sitting under an oak, behold, a voice came out of a bush opposite me and said, Esra, Esra. And I said, Here I am, Lord, and rose to my feet. Then he said to me, I revealed myself in a bush and spoke to Moses when my people were in bondage in Egypt. And I sent him and led many people out of Egypt. And I led him up on Mount Sinai, where I kept him with me many days. And I told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times, and declared to him the end of the times. Then I commanded him, saying, These words you shall publish openly, and these you shall keep secret. And now I say to you, lay up in your heart the signs that I have shown you, the dreams that you have seen, and the interpretations that you heard. For you shall be taken up from among men, and henceforth you shall live with my Son, and with those who are like you, until the times are ended. For the age has lost its youth, and the times begin to grow old. For the age is divided into 12 parts, and 9 of its parts have already passed, as well as half of the 10th part. So 2 of its parts remain, besides half of the 10th part. Now therefore set your house in order, and reprove your people. Comfort the lowly among them, and instruct those that are wise. And now renounce the life that is corruptible, and put away from you mortal thoughts. Cast away from you the burdens of man, and divest yourself now of your weak nature, and lay to one side the thoughts that are most grievous to you, and hasten to escape from these times. For evils worse than those which you have now seen happen shall be done hereafter. For the weaker the world becomes through old age, the more shall evils be multiplied among its inhabitants. For truth shall go farther away, and falsehood shall come nearer. For the eagle which you saw in the vision is already hastening to come. Ezra's prayer for inspiration to restore the Scriptures. Then I answered and said, Let me speak in your presence, Lord, for behold, I will go as you have commanded me, and I will reprove the people who are now living. But who will warn those who will be born hereafter? For the world lies in darkness, and its inhabitants are without light. For your law has been burned, and so no one knows the things which have been done or will be done by you. If then I have found favor before you, send the Holy Spirit to me, and I will write everything that has happened in the world from the beginning, the things which were written in your law, that men may be able to find the path, and that those who wish to live in the last days may live. He answered me and said, Go and gather the people, and tell them not to seek you for 40 days, but prepare for yourself many writing tablets, and take with you Saraiah, Dabria, Selemia, Ethanas, and Asael, these 5, because they are trained to write rapidly, and you shall come here, and I will light in your heart a lamp of understanding, which shall not be put out until what you are about to write is finished. And when you have finished, some things you shall make public, and some you shall deliver in secret to the wise. Tomorrow at this hour you shall begin to write. Ezra's address to the people. Then I went as he commanded me, and I gathered all the people together and said, Hear these words, O Israel. At first our fathers dwelt as aliens in Egypt, and they were delivered from there, and received the law of life, which they did not keep, which you have also transgressed after them. Then land was given to you for a possession in the land of Zion. But you and your fathers committed iniquity and did not keep the ways which the Most High commanded you. And because he is a righteous judge, in due time he took from you what he had given. And now you are here, and your brethren are farther in the interior. If you then will rule over your minds and discipline your hearts, you shall be kept alive, and after death you shall obtain mercy. For after death the judgment will come, when we shall live again, and then the names of the righteous will become manifest, and the deeds of the ungodly will be disclosed. But let no one seek me for 40 days. Ezra's experience in the field. So I took the 5 men, as he commanded me, and we proceeded to the field and remained there. On the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Ezra, open your mouth and drink what I will give you to drink. Then I opened my mouth, and behold, a full cup was offered to me. It was full of something like water, but its color was like fire. And I took it and drank. And when I had drunk it, my heart poured forth understanding, and wisdom increased in my breast. For my spirit retained its memory, and my mouth was opened, and was no longer closed. And the Most High gave understanding to the 5 men. And by turns they wrote what was dictated, in characters which they did not know. They sat 40 days and wrote during the daytime, and ate their bread at night. As for me, I spoke in the daytime, and was not silent at night. So during the 40 days 94 books were written, and when the 40 days were ended, the Most High spoke to me, saying, Make public the 24 books that you wrote first, and let the worthy and the unworthy read them. But keep the 70 that were written last, in order to give them to the wise among your people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the river of knowledge. And I did so.